This is Halls of Lightning as a Mistweaver monk. So another Wrath of the Lich King dungeon. I guess you can tell by the load screen. This is the follow-up to Halls of Stone, so continuation of the story from there. So we got a Death Knight tank, couple of other things. Hard to tell from here. I heard a warrior yelling out as they do. Okay, what's that second one and what's the fourth one? So we got a warlock, and as soon as you take some actions I'll be able to tell. That's a shaman. Okay, got it. Alright. Right, Halls of Lightning. Pretty cool dungeon. I do usually enjoy this one. Somebody has a little tiny polar bear cub. Alright then. Alright, so let me take a look at my action bar. Has anything notably changed here? Yes, healing elixir, there, number 0. So I had just leveled up to 75 at the end of the last dungeon I showed. Every 15 levels to a certain point, you get another talent point. Talent points are a little different from how they used to be, but they're pretty significant. So I unlocked a new talent row, and the 3 choices at level 75 are something that will reduce magic damage for a time, something that will reduce physical damage for a time, and something that will... the one I chose, which is called Healing Elixir. It's an ability that has 2 charges. Regenerates reasonably quickly, and I can just instantly use it to restore 15% of my health each charge. So 30% if I use both at once, which is usually what I do. It's very good. Some of the stuff I was reading, they say that, you know, damage prevention is better than healing, but I don't find damage predictable enough, and, you know, type of damage predictable enough to be able to feel confident with the prevention versions. And, you know, I have Fortifying Brew for that if I need it. So I took Healing Elixir, and it does a pretty good job for me. So yeah, if I need any self-healing and don't want to spend time and mana to do it, I can just drink 2 Healing Elixirs and be back up by 30%. Anyway, so that's my number 0 there. Still got Ring of Peace on equals. That will get replaced by something else, and Ring of Peace gets put off to the side. I still haven't cast that a single time. You'll see it eventually, but it's not one that I find myself using a lot. It's very, very cool and extremely good when it's good, but situations for it are rare. So got these weird, like, high-up walkways here. Just a few little things to fight. First boss is coming up, not on the next little platform, but the one after that. Or maybe he is there. I can't tell from here. Some very memorable voice acting. Okay, there he is. He's wandering around. Lightning all going up to him. These guys are all, like, made of metal or something? I'm not sure exactly what's up with that. General Bjarngrim, there he is. Alright, so if we fought him now, he would come with like 5 friends. If we fight him in a moment, he'll only come with like 2 friends. So I think that's why we're pulling back and waiting. Only one other person here is on any quests. So I'm guessing the other 3 have already run this dungeon on their characters. So this guy is a warrior, using the old warrior stance system that doesn't exist anymore. He's in defensive stance now. I forget what that means exactly, but he changes mid-combat and it does something. Something. Battle stance, so it probably hit a little harder now. Not much I'm finding myself needing to... No, okay, I do need to... Okay, never mind. That was some damage. I used a, what's that thing called? The big obvious shield. What is that thing called? I'm trying a complete blank on it. My number 7 ability. You know, the one. Life Cocoon, there it is. I did it. There are a lot of spells to remember in this game, and with as many characters as I'm playing at this point, you're going to see a new character later today, by the way. It's a lot of stuff to keep track of, you know. Right, so battle stance, defensive stance, berserker stance, those all used to be warrior things that you could opt to switch to for different, I don't know. I forget how they worked. And I played a warrior when they existed, but, you know, it was so long ago, I don't even remember what they did. Alright, so still using that Thunder Focus Tea for the extra little bit of healing on initial cast of Enveloping Mist. It was real good for that at this level. Right, I'm not far off from getting Mastery, so that'll happen at 78. So Mastery. I've talked about it kind of a lot, but haven't really described what it is. So it's another stat that you can get on equipment, in addition to the ones you can have, like, you know, intellect, stamina, versatility, all that stuff. And the effect of it depends on your specialization. So in the case of a Mistweaver, what Mastery ends up doing is the more stat that I have, what's it called? Gust of Mists is an effect that gives some instant healing whenever I cast Renewing Mist or Vivify or Essence Font, I think? Something like that. Anyway, so it makes Renewing Mist feel a whole lot better because instead of being a slow ramp-up thing where I have to cast it and then cast a bunch of more healing spells just to actually make the bar move at all, it instantly moves the bar upwards. And when there's not a lot of damage going on, I find that that's basically like enough healing. That's why Renewing Mist is just about the only healing spell I cast anymore unless there's significant damage going on. And Vivify also gets a lot stronger, so I end up using that much more than Soothing Mist and Enveloping Mist anymore. All the buttons are still useful, but yeah, Renewing Mist and Vivify get to be more useful than the others. This is a spot in the dungeon where you just kind of have to keep moving. You don't want to stand still here. So I have 10 stacks of, I think it's like Molten Armor or something. The longer you spend in this forge, the more damage you're going to take. So ideally you want to move through as quick as possible. Like this dude ought to be moving by now. Soon as tank has threat, and, you know, doesn't have like 20 of those things on him, killing him too quickly, it's a good idea to keep moving. Yeah, that's kind of like a trap for people who don't already know the mechanics of the dungeon. You know, you might sit there and try to clear it out, but the slag down there just keeps on respawning endlessly, and you get weaker and weaker, and everybody ends up dying if you attempt to do that. So you don't want to do it that way. These guys looked super fiery, but I didn't notice anybody taking heavy damage from standing near them. Maybe it was happening and just, like, wasn't all that heavy of damage. I'm having to stay on my toes here. I'm getting some attacks in, but definitely got to pay attention to healing. So if I rolled over that status effect, I'd be able to see what that fire tornado effect actually did, but it looks like I didn't bother to do that. So yeah, I think it's not the Unbound Firestorms, but the Steam Ragers, or whatever they're called, that are actually the scary ones here. The whiter ones. Volkan, I don't remember him super well, but he's a dude you can fight. Okay, so that door to my left, it's not in the camera anymore, but there is a door to my left. That's the way forward in the dungeon. I guess you gotta kill Volkan to open it, because I did see that it was closed right now. Yeah, Blistering Steam Rager, they do something that's scary? What is that something, though? Neither of those seems to have done it. I don't know, I just remember some kind of heavy damage coming from them. Maybe I'm thinking of a different thing? I don't know. Maybe that was it. Everybody got knocked back, and I saw a fair bit of damage happen. To the ones who were in melee range, at least. Yeah, just doesn't seem to be so bad. So this guy's like some kind of forge master or something, right? Is he one of those dudes who, like, makes new weapons for himself mid-combat? Yeah. Or maybe he makes golems to help him fight. They're kind of running off. This Death Knight seems to be having a little bit of trouble picking them up. Oh, right. Okay, so he makes them. They run around and cause some trouble, then he shatters them and they deal heavy damage to anybody who's close to them. I say heavy damage, it's just not that heavy at this point, though. Some amount of party-wide damage. Okay, yeah, so doors open, we can proceed this way. This is somewhere around like the halfway point in the dungeon. Oh yeah, this weird gauntlet. So all those dudes over there, they're inactive or statues or something. I don't know, they're not moving, they're not attackable until that happens. You step this far and then they get your attention. So move forward, kill the ones who have woken up, move forward, kill the ones who have woken up, and then you're through, pretty much. Oh, right, and they fear. Well, no, I still had control over myself. I think they do have a real fear, but that was something different that just looks and sounds like fear. Okay, now I'm feared. Seems like same effect. I don't understand why there are like two effects that look and sound exactly the same but work differently. Like in the same place. I could kind of understand if, you know, you reuse a spell effect somewhere far away for something else, but like in the same place? That's just weird. Whoa, you managed to take some damage somehow. I didn't see how that happened. I saved her before she died, though. She's keeping her distance during combat, which is probably good for a warlock. Maybe she was keeping her distance in a direction where a statue woke up and found her and didn't get picked up by this Death Knight. Okay, so coming up on somebody who can be kind of serious. There's some... Oh boy, did I wonder if I read up on this dude in the dungeon guide ahead of time. Maybe I'll do it mid-dungeon. There's a thing or two to know about him, I seem to recall. Yeah, what does he do, though? I can never remember exactly. I just remember that there is something that he does that's important to know about. There is totally a mechanic in this fight that can kill you if you're not paying attention to it. But I forget if it's a line of sight thing or a distance thing or a something else. A facing thing, maybe? Don't be in front of him? So big ball of lightning comes down. You can see where it's going to. So for one thing, obviously avoid those. What's that? I don't know what that thing on the left is. Huh. The slightest spark shall be your undoing. Oh, right, so don't be close to the spark of Ionar. Yeah, okay. So I remember this because I didn't do a great job with it. What am I doing? Shouldn't I be pressing my revival button right now? Okay, there's healing elixir. Wasn't really used to having it, so I didn't get to it very quickly. Whoa! There's revival, okay. Yeah, alright, so Spark of Ionar. They'll chase you, and if they're anywhere near you, you take really super heavy damage. Nobody in this party was ready for that, including me, especially me. I was the first to almost die from it. And then I was distracted, so I stood in the lightning. Oh, that looks like one of those things where it gets on me and then I need to not be close to anybody else because it will damage them if I am. That particular mechanic didn't show up that much back in, like, this stuff, but I see it all the time now. Like, you get marked with something. That's in effect is like, hey, get away from your friends. They're about to take a lot of damage from you if you stay close. But yeah, this feels like one of the earliest instances I remember of that particular thing. Shaman was trying to get her too, but I was quicker. Checking if that's an upgrade mid-dungeon. I don't usually do that anymore. Demonic Gateway. Okay, so yeah, that's like the Warlock summoning portal thingy. Wonder why she summoned it there then. I don't know. Might have been unintentional. So let's see, I guess Bran Bronzebeard doesn't come with us on this adventure in this dungeon, but we'll see some of the stuff that he was talking about back when he was with us in Halls of Stone. This room always seemed like a big mess to me. It's just wide open with all these weird little pillars in it and a bunch of dudes patrolling around. Gotta be careful in here. That was a weird time to leg sweep. The stuff was almost dead. Oh well, that was when I did it. At least I remembered I have the ability. I haven't been seeing a lot of leg sweeps lately. It's really, really good. Great thing to use. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of hostile blade storming going on here. The sort of thing that if you stand in it, your healer's not likely to be able to keep up with it. I need a drink. If they do bother to keep up, then this will probably happen right afterward. Can't leg sweep those. They're too big. My little panda legs aren't enough to knock them off of their giant whatever the heck they are. Everybody always goes across the right side of this room. I don't see anybody ever go left in it. I guess the right side seems a little closer to the entrance. Maybe, just to be different, I'll go through the left side when I'm playing the tank here. Probably not. But maybe. I've had pretty good success so far with playing dungeons like this as my paladin in a protector role and taking unconventional routes and having the rest of the party be totally okay with going along with it. Nobody tries to get too bossy about following their favorite route that everybody else in the Dungeon Finder does. I don't know, I just like to do different things sometimes. Experience the dungeons a way that is less common than the convention that's established among all the players. Wow, that dude hits hard. Okay, so Loken's talking. He was mentioned in Halls of Stone. He's here. Last boss of Halls of Lightning. He's not fighting us yet, but he's getting ready to. Okay, so Stormforged Giant hits kinda scary hard. It was hitting both the Death Knight and the Warrior at once. So it has some kind of cleave move. Was I worried about my mana? I had plenty. 3/4 is way more than enough for something like this. So now we get to fight Loken's ankles. One of these dudes who's way too big and you just never see their top half because it doesn't fit on screen. Lightning Nova, I don't want to be close to that. I realized what was going on and I moved back. Hang on, there's something on me. A permanent effect. Well, permanent, for the duration of this encounter at least. I think it's some sort of lightning vulnerability that... Oh boy, yeah, this is, this don't look good. I should be worried more about my own health than theirs. Don't stand so close! Move back! I'm in trouble. I'm alive. Okay, thanks Healing Elixir. Am I gonna save myself? I'm trying. Yes, okay. Wow, yeah, this is not going so great. Come closer, yeah, that means run away. Oh, hey! So we have a shaman. Does shaman mean in-battle resurrection? I thought that was only druids. No, it was the shaman who died. Like, they have a self-resurrect that can only go every so often. Whoops, she died again. Warlock must have been soulstone, because she died too, didn't she? Okay, well, you know what? That worked, but yikes. So that's a scary fight for a healer. I think we could have been a lot more aggressive about running away from that Lightning Nova. And if everybody had done that, I might have had an easier time. But, you know, we did do it. It's not that much of a problem if some people die right before the boss dies, as long as at least one person is still alive and the boss dies. That's usually okay. So, you know, that's all acceptable. Alright, cool. That's Halls of Lightning. Nifty place. I usually enjoy it. Okay. Guess I wanted to talk to him again. Alright, see you next time.